Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is going to be a video that is influenced by the channel The Horror Man. Don't know The Horror Man? Go check him out. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. And he does quite a neat selection of videos called Random Rarities. Just going through his DVD collection and kind of, going through some of his more rare, obscure, deleted, no longer available titles. It's inspired me to do this thing because I've been sorting out my DVDs because I want to kind of refilm some of my Marvel stuff. So in the process, I've kind of been sorting out some of my DVD stuff. So I want to go through some of what I think are my more rarer DVDs. Now I'll point out there's going to be no Marvel stuff because I'm going to be doing all my Marvel stuff in separate videos. And also, I've got the kind of the values based on these on Amazon UK, if I can. Sometimes it's not on there. So this is going to be the, what's worth money on Amazon UK, but in other, other countries, Amazon might not be worth. So let's crack on anyway. The first one is the He-Man Masters of the Universe. This is a Region 1 digipack. Now I've actually got a whole bunch of these. I'm just wanted to show this one. Because in the UK these might be kind of, a little rarer. They've got these kind of quite neat postcards in there. If you're a fan of Masters of the Universe, I think this is probably one of the best releases for this series. So I've got the whole series basically, including like the Christmas special and stuff. And so these are quite good and probably a little bit hard to get hold of in the digipack format. Probably, certainly if you are outside of the US. So let's go for that one. Sticking with the TV shows, you're going to see quite a few Region 1 DVDs in this because they tend to be the ones that are more expensive on the UK side. Beastmaster Season 2. I do have Season 1 as well. And on the UK sites, these are like £200. But you go on the US side, they're obviously a lot cheaper. And there have been re-releases as well. But this was, I think it ran for 3 seasons. I've only got the first 2, I didn't get the third one. I don't actually like it, if I'm completely honest. I think it's actually pretty unwatchable. I do love the original movie. I picked up the first couple of seasons. And then sticking with the TV, this is kind of this has been again re-released. This is the original issue of the Kindreds, which is a short-lived vampire TV show based off White Wolf's the Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game. It's pretty, it's kind of people don't really talk about it these days. And again, this is I think the first release of it, which is, I don't know the value of this one, to be honest with you. I know that you don't see it that much in the UK. Next few ones, I don't know if they're particularly worth a lot, but they're just kind of quite cool releases that the original releases. This is Anchor Bay's Near Dark, and this one is a digipack, so it's quite cool. I know people turn their nose up on DVDs now, and I'll point out this is only going to be DVDs. I'm not going to go through any of my Blu-rays, because it's just DVDs. There you go. We're going to do a complete Blu-ray collection video at some point in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, Near Dark. People really love this film. I've got to see. I think I prefer The Lost Boys. I know that's a bit more of a glossy film, but I do love Bill Paxton in this movie. And that's quite a cool release from Anchor Bay. I've got a few Anchor Bay releases. I've got like Q the Winged Serpent, which has got like a card sleeve, and I've got a digipack of Evil Dead as well. Here's an interesting one to bring up because this definitely won't ever get a re-release again. The Star Wars Ewok Adventures, and this has got both the Ewok films, Caravan of Courage and the Battle of Endor. Now, this was the first of the Star Wars spin-offs, so now you've got like Rogue One and the Solo movie now, but they did them before, but these are no longer considered canon and therefore will never get re-released. Now the Region 1 version of this looks the same, but it's actually worth quite a lot. This is the Region 2, the UK version. Not worth as much, I don't think, but nonetheless, it's hard to pick up, or it will be hard to pick up as it kind of goes along, and just the both films on the one disc. Here's an interesting one, because I can't find anything on this now. This is a Spanish original Superman DVD steelbook, And originally I purchased this like when I first started doing YouTube for a price, but no one selected it, so I kept it. And it is sealed, but it's kind of got a bit of a rip there. I'll put a poly bag on it as well. And you know, I just don't see it. I tried to look up to see if I could find a price for this now, but just can't find it anywhere, even on the Spanish Amazon. So it's probably a little bit harder. I shouldn't imagine it's loads of money, but it's, you know, the original Superman steelbook. Pretty good, I think. Space Raiders, also known as Space Wars. I found a couple of versions of this, but not this particular release. So again, this is a kind of a Roger Corman Star Wars cheapo kind of rip-off. I know he's done a few of them. Not as good as Battle Beyond the Stars, but it uses a lot of footage from that actually. So that is Space Raiders again. You don't see it that much, I don't think. This is actually, I don't know what region. This might be a region 1, to be quite honest. But I couldn't find any, you know, any version of this on Amazon. Here's a version what I think is really cool. Now this one, it's a DVD, but this in the UK many years ago we had a chain called MVC that went bust, and they did a couple of exclusive packaging. So this is the movie Dog Soldiers, but I could find no mention of this release anywhere, so I have no idea of the value, but it is a digipack. There you go. And I actually really love the cover art on this. I think it's a really cool design. You know, it's very subtle, and it's got a lovely matte finish to it. And like I said, the MVC chain that shut down many years ago, so there was a few exclusive releases that they did. I've got another one in this pile in a minute, and yeah, this is one of them. And you don't see much of Dog Soldiers, so I mean, I'd love to get this on a steelbook, to be honest with you. I'm sure one day someone will release it, but for now, this is the kind of the only like limited release that I have for this movie. Back in the days when I used to collect VHS, I was after this film and could not find it. Eventually I managed to get it on an Australian DVD on eBay. I've never actually watched it because I set my DVD player, I had 2 DVD players, one I set to UK and one I set to US, so I could watch American ones, but I could not watch Australian ones. So I have never seen this movie. It was the only time I've ever seen it to buy, so you know, it's a fairly, you know, unknown sword and sorcery movie, so you know, probably quite hard to pick up. Starring David Warner, as you can see there. Don't know the value of it though. Right. So these next ones, well, we'll start with this one. I did find some prices for these. This is a US release of Vampirella, which was based on a comic book, and I found this on the UK Amazon for like £50. So you know, that's a fairly high value for this movie. Again, we're talking about this specific release. I know you can get cheaper releases, but for this specific release, you get it from the UK Amazon. It's £50. I also picked up this a little while ago, Transformers Ultimate Edition, the movie, and this on the UK site with the steel casing is $24.75 these days. You know, you could buy it just as this, but with this kind of cool, and this was before the Blu-ray came out and everything, so it's quite a cool little you know, tin box set, and $24.75 on Amazon UK. It's quite a fun one, I think. One of the few Region 2 movies that I got that I found did have a fairly good value. I haven't gone through all my DVDs, there could be more, but Terror Within 1 and 2. This is a UK release, and on Amazon UK it is £26.24. So again, pretty high for a long forgotten creature feature. Now I mentioned MVC. Here is another one that is a kind of exclusive digipack. I could find no trace of this. The closest I've actually got to this release is some kind of, got the same artwork, but it's, I don't know, it looks like it's some sort of Dutch release or something, and it's £400 on Amazon for this. I mean, it's not the same release, but it's just the closest I could find. And again, it's very much like the Dog Soldiers, a digipack. But it's a really cool artwork, and this was I think the first release after the film first came out. MVC had you know, exclusive packaging, and they had this quite cool digipack. The problem with digipacks is they do get a bit of a batter in, you know, so they do pick up a little bit of damage. But again, I really like the first movie actually. I think it's a pretty good video game adaptation, to be quite honest with you. Anyway. This one I feel is cheating a little bit. The value on I could only find this on the US site, is $29.95, and it's probably what it cost when it came out, so it's probably just retained the value rather than gone up. But it's still, you know, to buy a DVD set that came out, well, it's 2009, it's nearly 10 years ago. You know, it's still £30. You know, it's not cheap, to be honest, but not mega expensive. This next one I think is the legit expensive one that I probably got, and Gargoyles. Now on the UK site, this is £81.71, so it's probably, you know, maybe with the exception of the Beastmaster series, this is the most expensive DVD that I actually looked. I haven't checked all of my DVDs, just a few boxes, because I've stored them all away. But I remember I saw this film on TV late night one night, in some kind of like cult cinema production thing, and I really enjoyed it. So I found this this Region 1 DVD on I think it was Play.com back in the or Play USA back in the olden days, and yeah, I wanted to pick it up. So there it is, Gargoyles. Again, long forgotten B-movie goodness. Here's one I've never actually watched, Deathlands. I found this on the UK site for £28.91. Again, this is like a Dutch release or something. I couldn't find the exact release of this. The closest one I could find was like £28. It's a weird thin cover with thin sleeve. The only reason I actually picked this movie up is because I had a massive crush on the female star called Jenny Lano, who's kind of disappeared from public life these days, but I had a huge crush on her, and I wanted to kind of pick up all her films, and this was, I think, the only way I could get this particular one. Haven't ever watched it. As you can see, it's still sealed, so there you go, some kind of post-apocalyptic movie. On the UK site, Black Scorpion 2, that stars Joan Severance, Roger Corman, superhero movie, kind of a cross between Batman and Catwoman, really. This one is, no, sorry, I actually had to find this on the American site. I couldn't find it at all on the UK site. So on Amazon US, it's $48.95. So I think, again, there might be another kind of reissue of this, but I really mean, when I collected VHS, I was looking for the Black Scorpion movies, and I could not find them. And there's only one DVD kind of came out that I actually managed to pick them up. And I also got the first movie as well, which I did find on the UK site, and this was $42.35. Again, starring Joan Severance. I think the first movie's probably better, although neither of them are great. But I kind of like them for cheesy fun. There's a bit of nudity in the first one. There's not in the second one, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, there's actually a series as well that kind of followed this with a different actress that I do have as well, and that is, you know, it's like the Batman, the 60s Batman series. That kind of, you know, it's weird and campy. Anyway, but the actual movie, especially the first one, is actually a little bit more adult. And the last one of note, for the kind of the DVDs that I went through at least, was the Roger Corman's Battle Beyond the Stars, and this is the 20th anniversary edition, specifically. Now there are other versions of this which you can get cheaper, but on the UK Amazon site, this specific release is £50.78. So, you know, I couldn't watch this one, I don't think, because I didn't have a American DVD player, but I just wanted it, so I got it. Now I've got a on Blu-ray, a Spanish version, so I'll probably watch that if I ever watch it again. But yeah, this version was I got long before, and I love this film. That's probably one of my favourite films. Don't care what anyone says. So that is my kind of selection of random rarities, as the horror man calls them. What do you think about any of these films? You know, have you seen any of them? Do any of them make you want to see them? Or TV series, I should say, as well. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you know the kind of like the value of any of these, if you've paid anything for them, please let me know. And like I've said, go check out the Horror Man's channel for more kind of lists like this. Clearly, you'll be a lot of horror films. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.